1:30 in the morning right now, and I was stood on my balcony thinking about trading and how far trading's brought me, and I had a few things that I wanted to say. Now, I had a student call earlier and it brought a few things up that I think I need to share with you, to share with my community, to share with you as a trader, brother. So if you're watching this, man to man, let's have a conversation right now, because realistically, I think you're playing it too small as a trader. You're playing it too small, and that is costing you serious results in trading, you know? So many people get to the point where they know the strategy, they've got their psychology down, and their mindset of just playing it small and sort of this restrictive mindset that you place on yourself is really costing you money in the trading space. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. But before I do that, I wanted to sort of give you a brief story to emphasize my point a little bit more, a story about myself and my trading, because realistically, this is something that I've struggled with as well. So if you're struggling with the same thing, brother, then you're not alone, because like I said, I've done the exact same. Now, when I first started trading, I was always closing positions too early. I had the strategy down, I had my psychology down. What would end up happening is I would end up getting into a position, seeing a number floating in profit, and then closing it early. And what would result from that is I would be right, the move would run massively in my direction, and now I've cost myself $1,000 profit, $500 profit for absolutely no reason. And this is one way that traders play it small, but another way traders play it small is actually in terms of the grand scheme of trading, okay? Now I want you to think about what your goals are currently as a trader. What are your goals? Is it to get your funded account passed? Is it to get a payout? And if so, what's your goal for that payout? Is it $1,000? Is it $500? What's your end goal? And if you said any of those things, and if you said it was to get a payout or to get your funded account passed, I want you to know you're thinking way too small. Because you might have heard the saying of, you know, aim high, and if you still miss, you're still relatively high up, you know? And in reality, that's exactly how it works. You know, if your goal is to get a payout or to get funded, that's realistically the only thing that's going to happen. When in reality, what your actual goal is, and what you should be focusing on, is creating long-term, consistently profitable income streams through trading. Consistent income and essentially wealth generation for yourself through trading. And when that's your goal, you start to reframe things a bit differently, okay? You start to think of a trading account or a prop firm account as just a tool in a bigger picture. You start to zoom out. You see your P&L or your progress in years, decades, quarters, not the day or the week or the month. And what stems from that is actually you're able to zoom out, like I said, and you're able to eliminate any emotion that, you know, arises from one losing day or one winning day. And you're able to understand what we are actually doing here, because in reality, what we're doing here is not trading day in, day out. We're actually developing a system that is designed to play out over 4 quarters or 5 years or a decade. And when you can do that, you unlock another level of trading. Because I was the same. My first goal was always to get that profitable week or that payout or whatever it may be. And when I did get my first funded payout, it was $150. And then my next one didn't come for ages because I realized I'd set that as my goal. And because I set my goal so low, you can achieve that goal, but then you go no further. And brother, the same is going to apply to you. Whatever you set your goal as a trader, whatever you set your eyes on, in fact, in life, is what you are going to achieve. So you'd rather set your goal as $10 million and miss that goal by 30%, but you still made $7 million, than set your goal as $100,000 and hit it 100% and stop there. Can you see the point I'm getting to right now? Can you see what I'm trying to explain to you? And in order for that to happen, you have to develop an abundance mindset. You have to build a relationship with money that is not only healthy, but also abundant. You have to remember money is completely finite. Infinite, apologies. Money is completely infinite. They are printing money every single day on a scale that you could not believe. And what that means is the people who understand that and the people that are using their capital to make more money are moving away from the people that work and trade their time in exchange for money. And what that means is the wealth divide is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where soon the average person is going to be in a terrible, terrible situation. And it's your goal right now for the next couple of years to set yourself apart from those people, to set yourself apart from the average person, because if you don't, you're going to be left in a situation where you're stuck, you're trapped, you're under their control, and there's no going back. And in reality, how can you do that? You can do it by yourself. You can do it with the help of others. But at the end of the day, you're the one pressing the buttons, and you're the one who has to turn up to the charts every single day. And I want to just quickly recap on this abundance mindset point, because I think it's genuinely the biggest part of becoming a profitable trader. I think there's nothing more important than it. If you have a scarcity mindset when it comes to money, you are going to end up closing trades too early, holding on to your losses, hoping they come back to break even. But even outside of the micro specifications of trading, you're also going to end up taking that tiny payout when you know you've got room for more. You're going to end up shooting for a super low goal when you know you're capable of way more. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, my cleaner came round to clean up the apartment, and we got talking, as we always do. She's a lovely lady, and she asked me how much I pay in rent every month, and I said 2,000 euros. And I said it off the cuff because to me, to be honest with you, that is essentially nothing. But to her, she could not believe it. 2,000 euros a month for rent for a place I don't even own. And she essentially was gobsmacked. She was telling me, I can't do this, that's way too much money, how do I even afford that? What am I gonna be like, what I could be spending that money on instead? And it was at that point that I immediately realized that I'd developed the perfect abundance mindset. And I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always willing to forget about how much the money means, or willing to understand how much an investment means, or whatever it may be. But at that point I realized that I'd gotten to the point where I've removed all emotional attachment to the money. I'd removed all scarcity behind the money, all hunger for it, all fear of losing it. And what that means is that when you actually go ahead and do that, you can actually generate so much more of it, and it will flow your way because you're not chasing it. Remember, we're not chasing, we attract, right? And once you start to stop chasing the money, stop putting emotional attachment behind it, that is when you start to actually generate more and more and more. So only when you let it go does it start to come towards you. And that makes sense for everything in life. I mean, you've heard the same with women. You know, if the moment you start chasing a girl is the moment she'll never ever respect you again. The moment she'll never date you, or she'll never, you know, become yours. But when you start to build up yourself and your mindset and your attributes to the point where she now starts to chase you, is the time that you win the game. And the same applies in trading, brother. You need to make sure you build up your mindset to the point where you can dictate the rules, you can dictate the money flow, you can dictate your mentality and how you see the profits. And once you do that, trading becomes 10 times easier. And I know this is hard coming from a point of having no money or not having the situation that you want. I understand it's difficult. Trust me, I've been there. I've been broke. I've been in $10,000 to $20,000 of credit card debt. I've been there. But I actually had to develop that mindset before I got out of the poverty, before I got out of debt, before I got out of the situation that I was stuck in my 9 to 5 at the law firm. And once I developed that mindset was the moment I was able to escape. But bringing this back to trading, I want you to think about that. How big are you thinking? How big do you think on a daily basis? What are your goals? What are you aiming towards? What do you visualize? Because at the end of the day, if you can't visualize yourself having X amount of success, or having $1 million funded, or having $100,000 in payouts, or whatever it may be, then you're never going to get there. You need to build up your visualization within yourself to actually achieve that. And actually, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the underconfidence aspect. When you are struggling with money, or when you're struggling with trading as a whole, you start to become underconfident. You start to double check every setup. You start to overanalyze your position. You start to doubt yourself. And what happens with that is, essentially, you miss setups that you should have taken and end up FOMOing in, or you get in a position and you manage risk too early because you're scared, or you close the position too early and you don't make as much money, and that throws off your system, that throws off the risk to reward, that throws everything off. So underconfidence in your trading can genuinely kill your trading ability, or your ability to generate income. And I know you struggle with this, brother, because I struggle with the same thing. And it's difficult to say that you need to just be confident, because without the right system, without the right people guiding you, without the right mentality, how the hell should you be confident? It makes no sense. And that's why I've opened up my TRLS Academy, to give you guys the opportunity to be part of a group of people that actually are profitable, firstly, and that are all working towards the same goal, and to have direct access with me, trade live with me, and also get access to all of my psychological resources, because I think genuinely you need it. So if you want to access that, the link is in the description, top link. Make sure you click it, because I promise you it will change your life. But aside from that, the immediate fix that you can do to actually remove that underconfidence that you have, the anxiety behind positions, the inability to trust your own analysis. Unfortunately, the only way I can say this is you need data behind your setups, you need to journal, you need to backtest, but secondly, you need to fake it until you make it. What is the worst case of you losing a position, especially if you're trading on a funded account? None of it's real anyway. I was talking to my student Tom earlier, and he was saying that when he first started trading, he would lose on his funded account. Let's say it was a 50k account, and he'd believe wholeheartedly deep down inside him that he'd lost $500, the 1% risk. When in reality, the most you can ever lose is the $19 you paid for the eval fee, or the $50, or whatever it may be. Whatever you put into that eval fee is the max you can lose. So why not fake that confidence and try and find out for yourself if you're really good enough? And what's going to happen then is, when you start to actually act with confidence, I mean, you'll know this with anyone, with anything in life. Anyone who acts confident ends up being confident. But not only do they end up being confident, they also end up achieving better things purely through the execution of confidence. If a football player on the pitch running towards goal was anxious before they took the shot, and in their head they were thinking, I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss, they're going to miss. But if they strike that ball with so much confidence, and they're so certain that it is going to go top bins, there's a high likelihood that it does exactly that. Because confidence alone, and the delusion alone, to think you're the best at what you're doing, or to think you're unbeatable at what you're doing, will allow you to execute with a higher ability, with a higher success rate, with a higher win rate. And overall, that's going to get you the results that you want. And then, before you even realize it, that fake confidence that you've been exercising on the charts turns into real confidence, because now you've actually done it. You've got the data behind your setups, and it all becomes real. So one thing I would say is, trust yourself, back your own analysis, because realistically, that's what you need to do. No one's going to do it for you. You can pay for mentorship, you can watch a course, you can watch YouTube videos. At the end of the day, if you don't back yourself, you can't pay anyone else to back you. I can't back you for yourself. I can back myself, but I can't give you confidence. The only person that can actually give you the ability to execute at a high level is you. So if you can't do that, then you may as well give up, right? But we all know you've come too far to give up. You know too much right now. You've put too much time into it, you've put too much effort into it, and in reality, if you give up right now, then that would be a massive, massive waste, right? But to be honest, I believe in you. I genuinely think you can do it. I think there's so much fear in this space, but once you can eliminate that, once you eliminate the fear, the emotion that replaces it is confidence. Because one of two can exist. They can't exist at the same time. So once you eliminate one, naturally there's a vacuum for the other one to fill, and that confidence comes in and you start to execute. And once you execute with confidence, you stop overthinking things, you stop overanalyzing, and trading becomes easy. So I guess the most important thing as well to think about is be confident, but also stop thinking so small. Aim high, and even if you miss, you're way higher than you started, right? You're way further on than when you started off, and realistically, that's all you want. Like I said, man, I'm delusional. I'm delusional. Brother, you know it. If you've seen my streams, if you turn up to my Discord every day, or the YouTube streams, or whatever it may be, you know I'm delusional. I talk about 10 million every day, and I'll get there 1,000%. I talk about 100 million every day. But even if I miss my goal of 100 million, I'll still have 20, 30. Oh no, what's gonna happen? So that's the way I see things. But brother, I'm truly looking out for you, man. I truly believe you can do it. You just need to stop thinking so small. Aim higher. People will tell you that you're delusional. People will tell you, what do you mean you're trying to get 10K a month, 20K a month? People used to tell me that. You want to make 10K a month? What? 10K a month? No, I make 20 on a bad month. Like, you need the delusion to actually get to where you want to be. Otherwise, it's never going to happen for you. And you also need those people doubting you, because for me at least, I turned that into proving them wrong. And that was my biggest motivation ever. Proving the people wrong that doubted me, proving the people wrong that wronged me or maybe judged me, whatever it would be. Turn it into motivation. Because I promise you, once you become delusional, once you become overconfident, once you become essentially aspirational to the highest level, you're going to make it. I promise. Trading's no different to anything else, man. The more work you put in, the more results you're going to get. But remember, with trading, the more work doesn't mean more hours on the charts. It just means more hours perfecting your craft. So that when you spend that 1 or 2 hours on the chart every day, you're able to do it at the highest ability you possibly can. Now listen, brother, like I said, click that top link in the description. Honestly, what I'm giving out here is ridiculously valuable. I don't think anyone's doing anything as similar, man. Genuinely, we will take people, or I've taken people from 0 to 10K months, from 0 to 100K payouts, over and over and over. The success rate is ridiculous, and I'll stand by that to the day I die, man. What I do is genuinely changing lives, and people will say, you offer this, you offer that. Yeah, so what? I have a group. But if you go to my Discord or my Instagram, you'll see that I've changed the lives of over 200, 300 traders this year alone, because it's so successful. Because I actually care about you guys, and I actually put in the work to change the people's lives who put their trust in me. So click that top link in the description. But otherwise, brother, look, the market opens tomorrow morning. Stay locked in, stay focused, stay confident, think big, think abundantly, and you're gonna make it, man. God loves you. Love God and thank Him for everything He's given you, and everything's gonna be fine. See you in the next one.